Hiya! Welcome to the video. If you click this, you likely enjoyed Hazbin Hotel, or not, but you clicked the video anyway, so that sounds like a you problem. My little brother had me watch the show earlier last month, and I asked when season 2 was coming out, and he told me possibly 2 years. So I got angry, and I said, why didn't you show me this 2 years from now? I hate waiting for things. Anyway, this isn't gonna be like a grand video or anything. It's barely gonna be structured, actually. I just want to talk about some stuff, since what the fuck else am I supposed to do? Do you like my outfit, by the way? I'm gonna give you a little spin. I'm Angel. My first thought was Charlie, but I don't own a red blazer, and I have this rule where I don't buy clothes for closet cosplayer videos. I have to use what I already own, and this was what I already owned. Also, I'm only wearing a choker. I don't own a bow tie. I'm sorry, Vivian. So, starting us off, the hypocrisy of heaven, am I right? Like, it's a known fact that angels can fall. It's happened a couple times, and Sarah literally says she doesn't want Emily to fall, so, like, it happens. But it seems the only way they can fall isn't through sin, because Adam and Lut are terrible people. Lut is the most wrathful person I've ever seen. The only way they can fall is by questioning heaven or those in charge. Who is that, by the way? But the worst part is, you can be in heaven and fall, but you can't ever be redeemed. You can't ever return to heaven. It's so fucked. That's not fair. I'm aware that it's proven untrue by the end of the season, but I like playing this game called What If I Was There? And I am making my argument to the court. Your Honor, kill that man! What the fuck is Alistair's deal, by the way? I'm so curious. First of all, what was his deal and who was it with? I personally think the deal was with Lilith, and I think the deal was giving him the ability to kill overlords. Overlords can only be sinners, from what I understand, and sinners can only be killed permanently with angelic steel, which Alistair didn't have. Now here's the thing. I don't think Alistair killed them. He can't. I think he trapped them in some kind of pocket dimension and tortures them there and broadcasts their screams. So maybe the pocket dimension was a part of the deal. He can teleport and move through shadows, but I think that's unrelated to the pocket dimension. I think that's more a reference to him practicing voodoo when he was alive. Same with the stitches on his design when he becomes more demonic. It's probably unlikely that this was the deal, but I don't know, it's my best guess. I have a really hard time wrapping my head around Alistair. Now, why did he kill the overlords? I have 2 guesses. 1, he's an egotistical, homicidal sociopath with a corrupt sense of moral superiority and a hunger for power. And 2, I think he knew them as humans. We don't see many sinners from the same era as Alistair, so it seems most of them aren't around anymore, and obviously any overlord present when Alistair arrived would have been from the same or an era before his, the 1930s, just so you know. We know that Alistair Altruist was a serial killer, and he killed based on his morals. He would kill people he thought deserved to die, cleansing the world in some way. He likely wasn't surprised he went to hell. That'd be funny if he was. But he clearly sees himself as superior to the other sinners and sees them as deserving of their damnation. But imagine you killed someone because you wanted to prevent their evil from Earth from going any further, take away their power, and then you get to hell and find out that guy has so much power now. I'd be infuriated. I'm not saying he knew all the overlords in life, but probably 1 or 2, and then he started spiraling. Also, he wasn't a cannibal in life. He became one in hell. I don't know why people don't know that. I mean, if he was a cannibal, why would he be burying a body in the woods? Why not just eat it? It's a really good way to hide it. And it would prevent it getting shot in the lids. A high-vis vest would have helped too. You guys are weirdly victim blaming. There's this thing I heard a couple times. Angel is bad representation of SA survivors because he is hypersexual, which just isn't true. That doesn't make him bad representation. People process trauma differently because we are unique. Shocker. Many people process the trauma of being SA'd with hypersexuality. It's an attempt of taking control back. And I want to make it clear, I'm not trying to save Angel Dust's feelings here. You can't hurt him. He's not real. But the people who relate to him are. The people who feel seen and heard through him are real. When you say Angel is bad representation, you aren't hitting Angel or even the showrunners. You're hitting your friend who hasn't told you about their trauma and now never will, because they know now that you don't think they're a real victim because of how they responded to said trauma. When you say this, you are saying that a real victim is sex repulsed and docile, and if you aren't, then you must have deserved it in some way, which I know is not what you believe. I know you're trying to be a good ally. You're trying to help, but true help and allyship isn't speaking for victims or belittling the experiences of a percentage of victims. It's like complimenting someone by insulting someone else. Like, I support you, but it's conditional. I've seen so many people talk about how healing Angel as a character was for them, is for them, that he helped their healing or even encouraged the start of it. But what I haven't seen is anyone using Angel Dust to glorify or condone SA, something many claim will happen because of his portrayal. The hypothetical negative people claim to be trying to prevent doesn't seem to actually exist, but I've seen that the very real positive does. Angel Dust is a net positive on the world, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. You know what I love? When people talk like a headcanon is fact or common knowledge. It's always really funny to me when someone slaps you across the face with wild information just for you to find out later it wasn't even true. So you have to double process it. One I heard was sinners become what they hated in life, which is not true. That's never been said, but this person really said it like it was. It started a running gag for me though, where I'll just say, damn, they must have hated blank. But I try to get more and more stupid and specific with it. Like, name something really goofy. Damn, Angel must have hated Brooklyn. On that note though, I don't like engaging with fandoms much. I prefer lurking in the shadow and just observing and writing down what I find without interfering. I'm a little bit like a nature photographer. Speaking of the character designs though, I love the subtle storytelling of the character designs. People talk about Alistair a lot, him being a deer and it being a reference to how he died, being mistaken for prey, but also it reflects how he doesn't want to be seen as vulnerable and weak, like prey. It's a reflection of how he was in life and in death. But I just love character design, and I love all of them so much, so I'm gonna talk about that now. Charlie is modeled after a puppy and a marionette. A puppet. Like Five Nights at Freddy's. The puppy imagery is not only fitting in her happy-go-lucky optimism, but also in how she is underestimated by Adam and Loot. You know, like people pushing a dog again and again and then being shocked when it finally bites. But of course, the ones that push the dog see the dog as a bad dog because it finally fought back. The marionette element is that she is kind of like being used as a puppet by Alistair and possibly her mother. I guess we'll see. Baggy is really interesting in that she looks weird. I mean this in a good way. Baggy lacks identity, running from who she was, but not knowing who she wants to be. Her outfit throughout season 1 looks like something Charlie would wear. and she looks uncomfortable in it. But by the final battle, when she is donning her armor, she has found her identity, embracing all parts of herself. Also, apparently, she's supposed to look like a moth. I thought she was supposed to be a hawk or another bird of prey. I mean, her hair literally looks like a hawk's tail. But okay. Angel's design is my favorite because it is pink and has hearts. Those are two of my favorite things. All it's missing are strawberries and it would literally be perfect. I accidentally wrote Angle in my script. Whatever. Angle is a spider, which at first might be interpreted as him having ulterior motives, seeking to ensnare victims into his web, but then it's revealed that the design not only makes him sexy, but it was actually foreshadowing for him being the one trapped in a web, unable to escape. Same as Alistair though, this reflects Angel in life as well, as he was born into a mob family, a wicked web of which it is difficult to escape. Husk is obviously a cat, but he is also a gargoyle, hence the wings. And the terrible posture. He is a tuxedo cat, but he's like halfway to a black cat, so let's go with that symbolism. It symbolizes bad luck, which is a reference to the epic highs and lows of Vegas gambling. Gargoyles are meant to protect buildings and those inside from like ghosts or something. Let me look that up. Hang on. Evil spirits. Which, like, yeah, he does. Even before Masquerade, Husk tries to protect the hotel. Not so much the people, but he does eventually. We don't know much about Husk in life, but hopefully we can learn more and see how his design pertains to that as well. Nifty. I love Nifty so much. Nifty is a 1950s housewife, but also a thug. She's very tiny and unassuming, which is what makes it so funny that she's the only character with a confirmed on-screen kill. Her being so tiny is purposeful, as she was likely treated as very small in life. The 1950s wasn't a great time to be a woman. Most decades weren't a great time to be a woman. It's actually not a great time to be a woman right now. But in the 1950s, women were very belittled and mistreated, especially considering how much work they took on during the Second World War. Nifty killed her husband. Good for her. Anyway, that's why she is tiny. The belittlement by society part, not her killing her husband. That's cool. But her being a bug, specifically a cockroach, can't believe I just wrote cock in my script, is because most people view her as a pest. She said it herself that most people don't accept her like the people in the hotel do, treating her as strange and off-putting. And it's not a far leap to assume she experienced that same thing in life. She thought differently than most people and likely suffered from some form of OCD, as a lot of her behaviors are obsessive and compulsive. Two of the words. People probably tried their best to get rid of her. That's likely why she was married off to a man she apparently didn't like very much. I mean, I don't think about stabbing people that I like. I mean, I don't think about stabbing people at all. I love the character designs though, and I could talk about them all day, but I don't have that. I have a more semi-realistic art style, and I struggle with fantastical designs like this, so I always appreciate it when it's done really well. Oh my god, I am so excited to see more of Emily. Please fall, please fall, please fall, please fall, please fall, please fall, please fall. Unrelated, what do you think is gonna make her fall? I think personally Heaven's gonna try and keep Sir Pentious ascending a secret, and it's gonna get Emily all fired up, which will cause her to fall. Actually, I have like a huge theory about all of that. I'll run through it real quick. For context, before the show was picked up, it was stated that people in heaven had no memory of those who passed and went to hell. Now, we don't know if this is still canon. I see no reason why it wouldn't be. Hey, I'm editing right now. Yeah, I looked into this a little bit more. This isn't something made up by Viv. That's something in the Bible. That's in the Bible. You know, like the source material of Hazbin Hotel, the Bible, It's Isaiah 6:5-17. See, I will create new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind. Now, it's debated whether or not that means you won't remember things in heaven, but it's widely believed that that's what that's referring to. But I think it means that the earth is flat. We don't really know what Emily's job is, but it's mentioned that she keeps the people in heaven happy and content. And I would assume, knowing that you say your twin brother, or God forbid, your only son went to hell, might put a damper on things. Might make it a little difficult to be happy and content. So I think that's part of Emily's job. I think she collects and stores away the people of heaven's memories. I'm going to start describing an episode that doesn't exist yet. So Sir Pentious is in heaven and Emily's like showing him around, and he runs into Molly, Angel's twin sister, and Pentious is like, wow, you look really familiar. And he kind of brushes it off. He spent some time with her, and it's made like stupid obvious to the audience that she is in some way related to Angel Dust, but Pentious is just not getting it. Like, we start to assume he doesn't remember anything from hell until finally he gasps as he like has a flashback of Angel leaving the hotel one day. Oh yeah, I had a twin sister before going to hell. Her name was Molly. She looks a little like me, actually. We were twins, after all. I don't know what happened to her. She probably went to heaven. My real name is Anthony, by the way. I don't know why I told you any of that. I've never shared that with anyone before. Well, bye. And it becomes obvious that he didn't forget. He was just that slow. Anyway, he asked Molly about Angel, and she's like, I don't know who you're talking about. And Pentious is like, oh my god. Someone stole Miss Molly's memories. I must find who and save them for her. So he finds where all the memories are kept, and Emily finds him like, Pentious, what are you doing down here? And he's like, I'm recovering Miss Molly's memories. Some nefarious being stole them away. And Emily's like, no, that's how things work up here. I'm trying to keep people happy. That's my job. And Pentious is like, okay. And he goes to leave with her, but he like trips and causes just a horrific sequence of events. And every memory ends up restored. When they come out, heaven's in chaos. People are screaming about their loved ones that they forgot, and they're really upset about it. My son! My only son! Sarah comes in, tries to calm everyone down, and it's working, but then Pentious mentions the exterminations, and suddenly it's not working anymore. Anyway, Emily gets put in front of the court for letting this happen, and it's there she realizes they never told Charlie that Pentious was redeemed. She gets this awesome song, and she like starts to decay in front of our eyes. But it's not until she like says something directly to the face of like the highest angel that she falls. Because like I said earlier, it seems angels, especially ones of Sarah and Emily's status, can only fall from questioning heaven's orders, not from sinning. Lucifer was called prideful by heaven for questioning the way it was running. He wanted humans to have more free will, and he was cast out of heaven for it, sent to hell, where all those who abuse and misuse their free will are sent. And seeing that for millions of years did something to Lucifer's perception of humanity. I'm just saying, I think heaven was playing 4D chess with their punishment, and Lucifer kind of just played right into their hands. Anyway, I think it's going to be similar with Emily. They cast her out of heaven as like a, see, he was an exception. See with your own eyes how truly rotten those sinners are. And then Emily meets Charlie again and gets adopted by Lucifer. Oh, and she tells them Pentious was redeemed. Speaking of Pentious being redeemed, I think that's going to be really hard for Angel. I know we got a whole episode of angst for Angel, but I think we're going to get more. Yay? Mostly centered around his self-loathing. I don't think that's talked about enough. He says in Masquerade that he's trying to destroy himself so that maybe he'll finally be too damaged for Val to want him anymore. But Angel didn't understand at that time was that Val liked him being damaged. Val liked him being weak, small, and broken. It made him feel powerful, and it made Angel easier to manipulate and abuse. because he believed he deserved it. Speaking from experience, you do start to believe you deserve it. We saw small steps towards it in season 1, but I know we're going to see more of Angel's struggles with believing that he is not only worthy of kindness, but redemption. I'll get more into that later, but a lot of people seem to think this is the end of Angel's arc. As if there isn't a season 2 coming out, and Angel's redemption is an endgame. Oh well, I just can't wait to see what they do with Angel going forward. He's a really good character. Anyway, I have a question about how redemption works. Okay. Do they have to die again to be redeemed? Because our only example is Sir Pentious, and he died. But Angel did meet every criteria on the list, but he didn't get redeemed. We've also never seen him die on screen. I don't know how far the waterboarding went. So, is it only possible to ascend if you die? Sinners can't die from anything but angelic steel, so is that actually what's happening when a sinner dies? They go through judgment again and just end up back in hell? Also, the sinners not being able to die isn't utilized enough. I need to see Vox explode and then just walk back on screen like nothing happened. That reminds me. Who makes this judgment anyway? We already know it's not Sarah. She doesn't know, so who is it? Where is God anyway?
Boo.
Oh my
Boo.
god, I
I
can't
can't
believe
believe
she would
that.
say that.
Washing machine. I already mentioned wanting Pentious to meet Molly, but what I didn't mention, I want her to not have an accent at all. I want no one in Angel's family but him to have a Brooklyn accent. I just think it'd be really funny. Like, he just decided to do that. What? I just wanted to stand out. Is that so wrong? Who are the cannibals eating? I know they probably eat some of the bodies of those killed during the purge. Circle of life. But they have to wait a whole year for that. What about when they run out? Who are they eating? Hellborn? Are they eating Hellborn? That's scary. Like, I know this is hell, but that's scary. Cannibalism gives me the heebie-jeebies. Which is a good thing, I think. Also, is that just what people who go to hell for the sin of cannibalism look like? Mannequins? I guess that makes sense, as it's assumed that you kind of have to forfeit part of your humanity to consume another person for pleasure. What am I talking about right now? Speaking of Hellborn, though, they make me sad. Like, Charlie wasn't sent to hell, she was born here. She even says she has a soul. She wasn't even given a chance to blow her shot. Like, I'm not writing cock in my script again. But seriously, she didn't have a choice. She was born into damnation. All Hellborn were. Maybe that's part of why Charlie is so insistent on redemption for sinners. It's something she can never have. No matter what she does, no matter how kind or compassionate or good she is, she'll never get to go to heaven. And she's judged for it, as if she deserves damnation just for being born. Feels like a metaphor for something. I mean, this is the second media by a queer woman I've watched that depicts hell and the people there as sympathetic and worthy of compassion and love, while the most human-looking character is the cruelest of all. I wonder why that is. You probably don't know. You definitely don't know this about me. There's no way you would have this information. I'm what I call musical neutral, and by that I mean I won't not watch something if it's a musical, but I won't watch something just because it is a musical. I sort of just meet them where they are. But I noticed something interesting about musicals, specifically people who don't like them, and it's they still like some musicals. It's just, look, when a musical is bad, it's really bad. Bad musicals feel like watching a movie or a play that's interrupted with a music video every 5 minutes and it doesn't pertain to the plot. It's like Soldier Boy. Just randomly. I meant Soulja Boy. I said Soldier Boy. I'll cut that out, that's bad. So as a result, you really feel the musical numbers. They become very grating. But when a musical is good, well, you almost don't realize you watched a musical. Because the key to a good musical and good musical songs is that you should always learn something through the song. It should never halt the story. So when a musical does this really well, the audience almost loses track of when a song starts and ends because they're just receiving information that is relevant. Point is, Hazbin Hotel is a good musical. I mean, the episodes aren't very long, but I don't feel like a single one is too short or that I didn't get something new or relevant from the episode. And I have the songs to thank for that. The songs sound fun, but deliver a lot of information that would have otherwise taken too long to say or felt rushed and hand-fisted if spoken. This is a great use of the musical format. Now, I love every song in the show, but I am going to do a list because I want an excuse to talk about each song. I like countdowns, so I'm going to start with my least favorite. Still good. At the bottom is Welcome to Heaven with a 4 out of 10. It's not a bad song. It's just not the best one. I love the way it opens. It also sets up Emily being a parallel to Charlie. I initially thought they were voiced by the same person, actually. Next is Whatever It Takes, 5 out of 10. I actually really like this song. It's just when compared, there are other songs I like more. I love the contrast of the two singing, though. Carmilla will be their keeper. She'll make the hard decisions so they don't have to. She'll face the flames and keep them safe, but not in a self-destructive way or self-sacrificial. She doesn't view herself as having less worth than them. She is choosing to protect them because she loves them. This is parallel with Vaggie being Charlie's armor. Vaggie would die for her because she views herself as less worthy than Charlie. Her protection is self-sacrificial. That's sort of her arc. It's also interesting that this is one of the 2 songs with Camaro car fight, and both are with Vaggie. I feel like that's implying something. You know, fuck it. I'll just use this as an excuse to talk about Carmilla Carmine. There are a lot of theories surrounding her, which makes sense given how important she is without us knowing much about her. My personal theory is that she's a fallen angel of some kind. Ow. That's why she gets paired with Vaggie so often, and how she knew Vaggie was an angel. To add to that, though, I think she was heaven-born, like, not a human soul. My reason for that, though, is her 2 daughters. I think her daughters are hellborn, and if heaven works the same as hell, with sinners, human souls in hell, then winners, human souls in heaven, can't have children. The only way for Carmilla to have a child in hell or heaven, she would have to be born there, not a human soul. I agree with a lot of people that she might be a seraphim, but I don't know. She could just be a regular angel. Next is Out for Love at 6 out of 10. I love this song. It's really sweet and to the point. It comes back to what I said about the parallels between Vaggie and Carmilla. Carmilla fights for the people she cares about because she loves them. Vaggie fights because she thinks it's her only worth. To truly fight for someone and succeed, it has to be a choice, not an obligation. This point is sort of exemplified when Vaggie comes back to the hotel after telling everyone what's happening and that no one would blame them if they left, but then coming back and seeing that they all stayed. They are choosing this. They are choosing to fight because they love each other. Oh, also, love that after Vaggie complains about it being too hard to fight with long hair, Carmilla puts her hair down. Okay. Bitch. But also, Vaggie does end up putting her hair in a ponytail at the end. I guess it was hard. Next is Happy Day in Hell with a 6.5 out of 10. This song does a fantastic job at establishing a lot of things. Charlie isn't just some distant royal. She is used to the city, specifically interacting with the people there, and they seem to be used to her as well. Not only is Charlie not distant, oh, that looks stupid. Not only is Charlie not distant with her people, she doesn't view them as lesser than her or express disgust for them either. She reacts to heaven the same way she reacts to hell. She's excited for both. She's just optimistic and joyful. It's wonderful. I also love the part where Maggie tells her no singing, and Angel says, "That bitch is halfway down the street." Is she? Oh, she's singing. Also, this song is just funny, which is good, because this is a comedy. Next, Stayed Gone, 7 out of 10. I like this one for a lot of reasons. One, I think Vox is just funny. Not in a he's trying to be funny and succeeding kind of way, but in a he thinks he's really cool, but he's actually really pathetic and we all can tell kind of way. 2, it establishes Vox and Alistair's history and dynamic really well. Alistair could give less of a shit about this guy. He doesn't view him as a threat. He's sort of entertaining to mess with, and that's really where it starts and ends for Alistair, but Vox views him as his mortal enemy. It's part of the pathetic thing I was talking about. Also, Vox's power is built upon connections, and without those he would be nothing, because he is actually very weak, while Alistair's power is very real. Vox has never killed a man with his bare hands, and it shows. 3, the visuals are really fun. I love how it's video versus radio, and so Vox, being video, interacts with the cutaways and the paneling of the shots and tries to use it against Alistair, but because Alistair is radio, he's unaffected. 4, Alistair mocking Vox's intro to the song at the end after the power cuts, and unlike Vox, where it felt very showboating and fake, Alistair is actually scary and intimidating, and seeing his form morph into a monstrous shape, it's like really good. Next, Respectless at 7.5 out of 10. The first time I watched the show, this song scared me. It's very abrupt. My notes about this song: the V's are, as Carmilla put it, inane and uninformed, and smug wannabes who don't heed when they've been warned. Velvet says that the V's have a plan, but during the finale it is clear that they don't know what killed that angel, so what was their plan? Like, that is the point. They didn't have one. They were going to do what they do best. They were going to have somebody else do all the work, and then they were going to claim all the credit. A standout line to me is, "And why are you avoiding war? That's what the guns you sell are for." Because it shows Velvet's lack of empathy and understanding of others. Carmilla sells guns for protection, but Velvet could never understand wanting to protect anyone but herself because, well, she's a bitch. I get kind of annoyed with how some people in the fandom babyfy her. They act like she's a victim being used by the other V's, which ignores that she's using them back. She knows she's being used, but as long as she's benefiting, she's just gonna go along with it. She says it herself, she's the backbone of the V's. All of them view themselves as the most important ones there. It's a parallel. Again, the V's are a parallel to the hotel, where the V's have no care or love for each other, viewing one another as nothing but tools. The people of the hotel genuinely care and love each other. Velvet's from the 2010s. We don't have a confirmed date of her death, but I saw somewhere that people think she died in the early 2000s. Like, she says bae and hashtag bitch. Girl was on Insta in 2014. Trust me, I was 15 in 2014. Now I ran an anime roleplay account at that time, but my older sister was neurotypical, so I do have a frame of reference. Next song. Hell is Forever, 8 out of 10. This song is fucking awesome. It's our first introduction to Adam, and it does a great job. I want that man dead already. It also establishes that each character has their own musical motif. Charlie's very classic Broadway, but then when she's interrupted by Adam, who has a rock sound, what does the rock sound like? Dick and balls? Oh. Okay. Where was I? I love it too, because like, Adam outs himself right away as like, awful. And when all's said and done, there's the question of fun. And for those of us with divine ordainment, extermination is entertainment. Bow now, guitar solo, fuck yeah. He literally just says that. It's not about population, it's about fun. And in Welcome to Heaven, the episode, not the song, it's revealed that he or someone else told Sarah that the sinners were planning an uprising. I want to know what's going on so bad. Next. Hell's Greatest Dad, 8.5 out of 10. This is another song that has really fun visuals, and I love how much Alistair is just trying to fuck with Lucifer. Like, the moment he finds what gets under Lucifer's skin, he's like, awesome, I'm gonna keep doing that. The song also makes it even more clear that Alistair does not consider Vox a real threat or an opponent, because we get to see what he does when he does consider those things of another person. Also, I know some people genuinely hate Mimsy for interrupting the song. Like, yeah, we all wish the song could go on longer, but if she didn't, they would have gone on forever. And I don't mean with the clever lyrics. They would have just devolved into screams for the rest of time. Next, More Than Anything, 9 out of 10. I love this song so much. It's so soft and gentle, and Charlie and Lucifer harmonize so well together, and the way the two reconcile, realizing that they really just want the same things, to be supported and to support one another. Reconciling with your dad through open communication and him actually listening to you. That must be nice. It's just a wonderful song. Next, More Than Anything, Reprise, 9.5 out of 10. I'm sorry, I like the Reprise more. It's short and sweet, and I would kill myself for these two to be happy. It has one of my favorite lyrics of all time in it, and in the end, if it's only me you saved. Like, I'm crying in the club right now. This song made me cry. I'm bawling. Next is Poison, 10 out of 10. This song just has everything. Great lyrics, great instrumentals, great visuals, great storytelling, great emotions. It's perfect. The song puts on full display Angel's mask of confidence, trying desperately to come off like none of this treatment bothers him, but it always slipping at the last minute. When he's dancing with Val, constantly trying to stand and get on even ground, but Val keeps pushing him back down. Angel's voice wavering in the final verse as he's finally alone, allowing himself to be consumed completely by the sorrow. It has so much great about it. I know some people don't like this song because they think it glorifies sexual assault. I think this comes from the fact that some of the visuals in the music video make them uncomfortable. So they think it's bad representation, as if there's a form of SA representation that wouldn't be uncomfortable. Like, the topic is uncomfortable and hard to discuss, no matter what. I don't know what is, I don't know what you want. Sometimes media is supposed to make you uncomfortable. That's the intent. You're uncomfortable because you don't like the way Angel is being treated and you think he deserves better. That's an empathy response. That was the intention with the depiction. You should actually try and hone in on your empathy responses, not shut them down or get angry at anybody for eliciting them. Shutting down your empathy is not a good thing to do, and we're sort of training each other to do it. You know, if somebody draws something or says something that makes you uncomfortable because you're sad for them, they aren't problematic. You just felt emotions for another person. Next, Loser Baby, 10.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'm going over 10. I don't know why I even decided that would be the system, but I did, so I'm sticking to it. Loser Baby is a great example of parallel songs. It's in the same episode as Poison, and it's meant to mirror it. Especially in the visuals, where Val is constantly pushing Angel back down. Husk pulls Angel up, dancing with him on the same level. Husk treats Angel as an equal, not someone beneath him, which brings me to Angel's relationship with empathy. Angel doesn't know a version of love or compassion that isn't degrading, and so when someone expresses care for him, he sees it as pity, and he doesn't want to be pitied. He doesn't want to be seen as someone pathetic that needs to be saved. That's why this song and its progression throughout the lyrics is so important. Husk starts by saying Angel's at rock bottom, which Angel takes as harsh. and mean, just kicking him while he's down. So focused on the negatives, he misses Husk say, but you got company. And in the second verse, Husk talks about himself, how he was where Angel is before, and in some ways, he still is. And when he moves to the chorus and says it's okay to be a coked up dick-sucking hoe, he's making it clear he's not condemning Angel for the way he's responding to his situation. He's saying it sucks, but you're not the only one whose life sucks. Husk doesn't pity Angel, he cares about him, and so does everyone in the hotel. That's why he forgives Charlie at the end of the episode. He's learned that compassion and empathy doesn't equal pity, and that Charlie cares about him as an equal. Next, You Didn't Know, 11 out of 10. This song makes me feral. It's perfect. It delivers so much information in such a short amount of time whilst having major lore drops and being funny. Charlie getting so heated because these are her people. Don't you care, Sarah? Revealing that Lute isn't just some lackey tagging along with Adam, but that she's just as cruel and terrible as him, if not more. Adam accidentally revealing the extermination to the rest of heaven, and Emily getting angry at Sarah for going along with it. The frame of Sarah when she sings Do What Was Required, the flames dancing in her eyes, a wonderful depiction of Sarah becoming something monstrous to Emily. Oh my god, when Charlie and Emily start singing together. And then Charlie learning that Vaggie's an angel just before getting pushed through the portal. I'm gonna kill something! Also not in the song, but after it, Emily calls the sinners innocent. Next, ready for this. 11.5 out of 10. This song is so important to me. Not only is it fun, and I love Charlie, but I love how it's the first time her singing works. Throughout the entire show, Charlie tries singing to fix things, and it only makes things worse. A lot of it is just out of her control, but try and get this girl to not blame herself, I dare you. But her hesitance to sing here because she can't mess this up, but singing being the answer. The message being that it has to be her, and she can only succeed if she is true to herself and doesn't try and change for anyone else. Next. The Show Must Go On, 12 out of 10. I love this song for many reasons. I love Lucifer trying to cheer up Charlie while she, once again, blames herself for all the negative, unable to see the positive things that she has done. You've changed my mind, you've touched their hearts, found the good in souls gone bad. And the rest of the hotel joining in is wonderful. Lucifer being randomly revealed as a Keyblade wielder was weird, but welcomed. Also, Lucifer sings with the sinners of the hotel, proving that Charlie really did change his mind about them. The way Cherry joins in, helping them rebuild the hotel. Vox and Val get a little number about piss. Good for them. And then Alistair comes in. Great Alistair, altruist, died for his friends, sorry to disappoint, that is not where this ends. I don't know how other people read this line, but I read it as him being angry at himself. Some part of him does enjoy the company of the people at the hotel, and he thinks that makes him weak. Because it did. He let his guard down because he got too comfortable. Anyway, I love this song. 3 songs in 1. This is awesome! How much do you want to bet Vox immediately short-circuited the moment Alistair came back? Also, poor Husk. He was living like a free man there for a second. But my favorite part of this song is the line, I took a hotel and I destroyed it. Because it is sung as if there's an obvious sense of irony. And I don't know what that is. Where is the irony? Charlie, what are you talking about? This is the funniest line in the entire show to me. Now, what is the best song in the entire show so far? It starts with Sorry, 100 out of 10. This is my favorite song ever. I get so happy when I hear it. The way it starts, the dings synced with his blinks. Pentious is so incredible. Him just getting into it so quick. Also, I actually cried at how mean Vox was to him. Leave that little guy alone. Also, Angel didn't think he could kill Pentious in a way that mattered. But Vaggie knew she could. Vaggie. Something fun about me. I love redemption arcs. I love people trying to become better after not being a great person before, and this song captures every feeling I have about that so perfectly. Redemption can only be found when you open yourself up to empathy and compassion, and Charlie offering that to Penchas is so wonderful. I do have a comment about Penchas though, more so the fandom about him. I love Penchas. I think he's wonderfully written and a great character. But I hate people saying that he's the only good character because he's the only one with a completed arc. This was season 1 of a multi-season series. He only seems like the most fulfilled character because he's the only one who fulfilled his arc. Some characters, Cherry, didn't start their arc until late in the season. It's unfair to compare a finished arc with an incomplete arc and say that the finished one is better because it has a satisfying conclusion. Of course it does. It's done. The other one isn't done yet. It doesn't have a conclusion to compare. I have yet another theory regarding redemption. Me thinks being in a contract, specifically for your soul, prevents you from being redeemed. Because part of your soul is already owned or promised. I actually think this is why Angel wasn't redeemed. So I think a major part of season 2 is finding a way to break the contracts, either finding loopholes, convincing the holder to drop it, or death. Speaking of season 2, would you like to hear my theories for how it's gonna go? I already mentioned my theory about Heaven keeping Penchas a secret and Emily falling, but I have some general ideas too. 1, I think we're gonna get redesigns. I think everyone's gonna get new outfits. Kind of like Penchas getting a new one inadvertently. Maybe I'll draw that. Or design ball gowns inspired by the characters. That's more likely what I'll do. 2, Valentino is gonna die. Preferably crushed in a hydraulic press. Or by Nifty. I just think it'd be funny if Nifty's the only character who ever permanently kills anyone on screen. But in all seriousness, I genuinely think Val is gonna die in season 2. Not just because I don't like him, but because it makes sense for him thematically to die. Like, he's already getting angry with Angel, but maybe there's this big moment where he's blinded by his wrath and isn't watching his surroundings, and maybe Angel notices, and despite everything he tries to tell Val, you know, reflecting the anguish of how hard it is to stop caring about someone even when you know they're bad for you. And then Val gets crushed in the hydraulic press, and who's that at the controls? Nifty? 3. Vox will be the only V left and his empire will crumble. And then Alistair will eat him. I don't know. Or maybe not. I think Vox would enjoy that too much, and that would make Alistair uncomfortable. Now, I don't think Vox is gonna stop being a threat. In fact, I think he's gonna be one of the endgame villains. What I mean is we'll see the natural progression of his arc in season 2. Vox has ridden off of the coattails of a lot of other people whilst developing an ego so massive my dad would be jealous. But he's standing on a pillar of salt. Like my dad. It's not going to last, and the V's being the main villains of season 2, we're gonna see the fulfillment of Val and Velvet's arcs too. And they're likely not gonna survive. Val is beyond redemption, and he's not seeking it. He knows he's cruel and evil, but he enjoys it, and I already said it. Velvet's a bitch. I hate wishing women dead, but she's not gonna change either. She might try and fake it for a while, but only to save her own ass, but it won't last because just like Val, she isn't seeking true redemption. It's going to exemplify a point that is sort of mentioned but not addressed in season 1, and that's the concept of sinners who chose to sin and sinners who had no choice because of circumstance. But I do think we'll see Vox partnering up with another villain. I wonder who? 4, I think Lilith is a villain. She's gonna come back and try and isolate and manipulate Charlie just like she did in the past, but I think Lute's gonna fuck it up. Lute's too much of an ego trip bitch. I don't think she'll be able to keep her cool knowing she has such a massive weapon against Charlie. Oh my god, imagine that bitch's stupid face when she finds out what her precious mother's really up to. You know what? Why risk missing it? On that note, I don't think Adam is going to come back as a sinner. One, that wouldn't be satisfying. I know people like him, couldn't be me, but he was the main antagonist of the first season with no signs of any kind of redemption. He was awful the entire time. It would be bad writing if they ham-fisted him in as like the weird uncle just because some fans like him. And two, he was killed with angelic steel. There's no coming back from that, I'm sorry. But hey, people who like Adam, I have another awful, disgusting man who sucks that you might like. I do not understand you. But I'm glad you're happy. 5. Alistair won't use the deal with Charlie in season 2. That again feels more like an endgame thing. Like, that can't come back that soon, can it? Also, I can't even begin to guess what he'll have her do. Like, a favor that harms no one, but is something Alistair would want? What the fuck could that be? I'm usually really good at coming up with at least some theories, but I'm coming up blank here. I'm so angry. I need to know. 6. Cherry's gonna join the main cast. I think Cherry is the most misunderstood character in the whole series by the fandom. Some people say she's a bad friend to Angel because she was encouraging him to do drugs and get drunk in a nightclub, but she's not. I know how it sounds, but she's not. This is what they used to do together. They'd run away from their problems at the club, getting drunk and doped up together. That was their thing. But Angel's growing and changing, and Cherry's not. That's what their conversation at the end of the episode was about. Yeah, it took her a moment to recognize what was happening, but once she did, she didn't cut him off. That would have made her a bad friend. No, she offered Angel support. She just isn't ready to take the same steps that he has yet, and that's okay. She said, if you want to grow and become better, I'm here for you. I always will be, but understand that I'm not ready to do that yet. That's not an evil way to think, and it doesn't make her a bad friend to not be ready to grow like he has, as long as she's not trying to keep him down with her. And Angel's not angry with her. He understands better than anyone that it has to be at your own pace. And she meant it when she said she'd be there for him. She knew she could have died defending the hotel, something that didn't even matter to her. But Angel asked for support and she risked her life to do so because she genuinely cares about her friend. And when they're rebuilding the hotel, she joins them. She's singing with them to uplift Charlie. She sticks around to help rebuild. This isn't even a theory. She's just a part of the main cast now, and I'm so excited to see more of her. Specifically, I want to learn her angst. I love Cherry. 7. That's 7, right? Yeah, that's 7. 7. Nifty will get a song. Please, 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 please. Speaking of a song, I'm kidding. I'm doing that later. And 8. I don't think anyone from the hotel is gonna die. I hope no one from the hotel dies. This isn't much of a theory. This is more of a desperate, desperate plea. Please, lady, don't take them from me. Anyway, that's it. Oh, and I think Lilith and Eve are the same person. Also, am I reading that line wrong? Or is Lucifer implying that he was with both Lilith and Eve? Double cucked by the same guy? Okay, that's funny. Well, that's that. Thank you for watching. It means a lot. I know it's been a while since I uploaded, but I am working on a large project right now that I'm hoping to have finished before the end of the year, and I already have more ideas for videos in the future, so hopefully I'm back. Also, I am moving. Like, as I'm recording this, my stuff is in boxes. So the project's gonna take a little longer than I'd like. I'm gonna link my coffee below. I wanted to do something where I'd upload bonus stuff, but Patreon felt too exclusive. So coffee felt like a good alternative. And don't worry, you don't have to pay for the bonus content. I just wanted somewhere to upload it, and it felt like good advertising for the page. Tips are open, but optional. Anyway, from one of my fat nuggets to yours, Bye. Really funny. Just as I put this blazer on, it's a little tight on me because I got it when I was like 16. I had so much cleavage. It looked super nice, but right as I started to record, I moved my arms like this and the button popped off. So, I had to up the modesty. I'm just as disappointed as you are. Get off the stage.